Hello and welcome to the Daily Conspiracy Podcast. We don't take days off because reptilians don't take days off. And I just said hello really, really fucking weirdly, didn't I?
You did. You also ended that like I don't know, like you were giving a blowjob.
I was
You
running.
know.
I don't give blowjobs like that. I was running out of breath.
Yeah, I realised that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I mean, yeah. Speaking of crudities, so tonight, so as you know, we nearly didn't do a show tonight. My little boy hurt his leg, went to hospital, leg's fine, but I'm getting the younger one ready, who is 7 years old, and he's brushing his teeth, and I'm like, let me help you brush teeth, and he turned round to me, and literally he calls me a, what did he call me now?
Homo.
No, it was better than that. It was penis muncher or something. like to the point where I'm like, you know, when they say you shouldn't like address things because then they'll do it more, but I still wanted to get to the bottom of it, and I realised that he didn't get it from somebody at school. He just made it up. He just made it up, Lee. Like father, like son.
Oh, it's a very, very proud moment for you.
I
I
wanted to be
am.
angry, but I am like literally like had to leave the room.
Mm, I am 90% convinced that what you just said there about this whole thing about not addressing things with your children and stuff like that, like, oh, you don't do that, or you're supposed to like let them fucking have their fucking
Oh no, I
strops
did
and things.
address it. I told him you don't say that. It's
I'd
a
have
rude
laughed.
word.
I'd have laughed. But the thing is, I'm convinced that all these things that you hear, because you hear these little tropes and stuff weave their way around. They usually come in books with white covers and big letters on them, maybe a single balloon or something. And I think 90% of it is to destroy like unexpecting parents from being able to bring their parents up properly. I think
Yeah.
90% of it's bullshit. And the amount of those parenting books that are written by women that don't have fucking children
Was it
is
gentle fucking
mental.
parenting?
Oh, fucking. No, I can't say that. I was just about to say gentle parenting, sit on my cock. That's not right.
Well, I mean, he called me a penis muncher, and that's not
Yeah, he
right
did.
either.
Yeah, I
You know.
suppose so. But yeah, yeah, I'm convinced that 90% of these books are there to to do the opposite of what you kind of want them to do, and they're for unsuspecting people, vulnerable people that are worried that they can't bring a child up. So and it's like, oh, just read this, and the next thing is they're reading, going, it's like it's okay for your children to try heroin twice. It's. Do you know what? Right before we get into the conversation, because this kind of leads on from last night. I will. I'd like to play a game with you, Ollie. Just give me a split second, because I played this game today at work, and it was rather funny. I would like to play. Hopefully, you haven't seen this yet. I'd like to play. Finish that sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. So Oliver,
Yes.
I wish we had like some.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
I was just gonna say I wish we had some sound effects for this.
You
Not
got it.
those.
You got it. You got that bit of water that I hadn't swallowed.
The NHS
A twats.
says first current marriage is linked to Oliver. Finish the sentence.
I'd say that back about them being twats. I do like the NHS. I just don't like the people that run it.
Yeah, just don't treat him if he comes in. The NHS says first current marriage is linked to.
First current marriage is linked to.
Cousin.
First cousin marriage.
Marriage to your first cousin is linked to.
Insanity.
I'll take insanity. Would you like to try again?
Incest.
I mean, well, it's kind of, yeah. But if we're thinking health,
big heads.
Right. I'd have took all those things like congenital heart disease, autism, like any of those sort of things. What I wouldn't expect from the National Health Service is the NHS says first cousin marriage is linked to strong extended family support systems and economic advantages.
Interesting. And no side effects.
Oh, the side effects. Do you know a funny thing, Ollie? Like, I'm not a great historian here, but the England, along with large parts of like Europe and the West, let's say the successful countries, at one point, fucking ages ago, banned cousin marriage. Yeah? That spawned stuff like the fucking Industrial Revolution and the British Empire. Because when we stopped fucking our cousins and having children with them, like IQ went through the fucking roof. I think, and call me a right-wing extremist, if you will, I would say that maybe some of the disadvantages that come with certain countries that still engage in cousin marriages, those disadvantages might still be around because of the cousin marriages.
Yeah, it's a little bit too close for comfort.
But how fucking weird, Ollie, that the National Health Service has got itself into such a fucking... And don't get me wrong, like, I'm saying the National Health Service because that's what the article is. It's clearly not the National Health Service. It's whichever fuck nugget happens to be in charge of the press release that day. But to get yourself into that position where you're supposedly like this fucking beacon of hope and fucking science and medical fucking elitism, that you could wind up being so institutionally captured that it's like, yeah, cousin marriage sounds good to me. You know, at least you'll have someone to look around after the kids because, like, the family's there anyway. I'm flabbergasted, Ollie. I was shocked today when I read that. I was like, I
wonder
don't...
how long that's been there like that, just sat there. That this
What?
is, you know, the wording of that has been like that. I wonder if that's recently been changed or if that's been like that for a while.
No, it's recently changed because, unfortunately, we're important people that want to fuck their cousins.
I never wanted to fuck mine.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, just after your mum.
Oh, mine. Oh, I
But yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's inclusivity for like insanity's sake.
It's fucking nuts. The world's mad, mate. But it's okay because, you know, aliens are going to destroy us soon, so we're all right. Do you know what I'll take aliens though right now?
What?
Right now, I'll take some aliens I'll take an I'll take an alien invasion. I don't think an alien invasion would be. I don't think it's going to be. It's nowhere near as scary as all the other shit going on. Because it'd be interesting. At least you know that you might get fucking probed.
I mean, you might do. Unless they do like the whole thing, like, when people say, "Oh, if an alien would come, it would just put like some sort of virus down and wipe the planet off before they landed." So you might not even get to see them.
No, I'd want to see him. I'd want to, I'd want to smell the ship, everything, touch the alien before I die. At least I can say that, I've always wanted to see aliens. I've always wanted to go on to an alien spaceship. And if that's where I die, then,
so be it.
Mission accomplished.
Well, I mean, before we get fully into this, I'd say I'd love to have got. Can you remember the director? Remember, I ended up on like a lonely Sunday afternoon, scouring the internet for things to watch. I ended up watching a low budget like short series that someone had kind of stitched together into like a full length feature film, and he'd filmed it in lockdown when all the streets were empty. And stuff. I can't remember what it was called now. I'll try and remember. I'll try and tweet it out because it was really good. And I thought that guy, I thought he had a really good vision of early on to make that film of what COVID was, as in like a farce. He had it down that it would bring that shortly after that would come like a digital ID system, and then towards the end of it, it ended in an alien invasion. Like that's.
I need to see this.
Did you not watch it? We interviewed him. I couldn't even make it.
Did I interview him?
You and Dave interviewed him. I can't remember what it was. I was in hospital.
Oh yeah, fuck me.
Yeah, I was really upset about it.
It was a good film.
And I wanted to get them back on again, and he said he'd come back on, and then he never answered any emails ever again.
He planted the seed, and then he left the scene.
Like we were his first cousin.
Bastard.
Yeah. So I've had these drone incursions, Ollie. Drones, UFOs, whatever you want to call them. So this is the last, in the last week, I believe. Or just over the last week.
Denver airport shut down.
Well, I've took the European ones here. So we had the Copenhagen airport in Denmark on the 22nd of September.
Denmark, sorry, not Denver.
Yeah, 2 to 3 large drones were reportedly near the airport, which forced complete suspension of takeoffs and landings for nearly 4 hours. The airport later reopened, but delays and cancellations continued. Then again in Denmark, the Aalborg airport, drone sightings forced shutdown of Aalborg's airport, disrupting flights. Then again, the Lund airport in Denmark, drone sightings led to temporary closure for about an hour. Skystrup Air Force Base and airport in Denmark, repeated drone incursions at military civilian mixed facility on the 22nd and the 26th of September, and then Karup and other Danish military sites and airports. 27th of September onwards, drones have been observed in multiple bases. Like, this is fucking wild. And I know Russia's being blamed.
Well, this is what happened, half a year ago? Only you're getting to see some fucking real crazy footage right now.
Yep, there's some really crazy footage of these things there. We showed it on another podcast. This what seems to be like a long-winged craft that looked, I mean, for my money, a bit like the craft from War of the Worlds. It's got this green fucking dot in the center of it. Like, this is the wild thing about it. These are UFOs, right? Regardless of what's in them. I'm not into
It's
the word
unidentified.
UFOs, aliens. Yeah. But because we've got the word drone now, it's a great way to just simplify these things down. Some of these were in the air for like 4 hours. So that's like fucking out there fucking military technology for 4 hours. You can't buy consumer drones that'll stay up for 4 hours.
No.
It doesn't happen.
And don't forget the size of them as well. Now, that means it's got a fucking big fucking battery in that motherfucker.
Mm.
And they weigh a bit.
So I have a clip to play here. I'll have to pause the clip here and there so I can read to our lovely audio listeners what the Danish president or prime minister is saying about these things. So let's have a listen to this.
Well, good luck, Lee, with this. I'm glad I'm not doing it.
I'll manage, Ollie. I'll be fine. Thanks for the concern.
About the UFOs and drone incursions that have been happening as of recent, even happening now, right? So they don't know where these things are coming from, who owns them, what they are. Anti-drone equipment does not work with these objects. They can't disable them or make them or bring them down, right? Which is hella sus. And if this is anything, this could either be aliens, for one, if you want to say that, because it's like New Jersey and the other things that we've experienced around Oslo and Switzerland as well. Or this is a psychological operation to kind of get people panicking for whatever is to come out there, whether that's World War III or something more. But listen to what she has to say. It's pretty damn interesting.
Dear all, in recent days, Denmark has been exposed to hybrid attacks.
Danmark har i de seneste dage været udsat for hybride angreb. Droner er set flere steder.
Drones have been seen in several places at critical infrastructure,
Ved kritisk infrastruktur, militært og civilt.
military and civilian.
Det er angreb, som vi må forvente, der kan komme
These attacks that we must expect to be more of, and there are.
flere af. Og det er angreb, som har vist sårbarhed.
The attacks have shown vulnerabilities, and they are attacks. Obviously, this is direct translation, so if it sounds a bit weird, it's going to be because of that.
Og det er angreb, der har til formål at
The aim is to create insecurity and division.
skabe utryghed og splittelse. Det er angreb,
The attacks that will shake us, us as people and as a society. That's a really weird thing to say.
Mm.
The attack that will shake us as a people and as a society.
der skal
That's
ryste
like
os.
that's like she's thinking ahead of what's to come.
Yeah.
Som mennesker og som samfund. Jeg forstår godt, at situationen rejser mange
I understand that this situation raises many questions.
spørgsmål. Hvorfor er
Why haven't the drones been shot down, and why weren't they discovered earlier?
dronerne ikke blevet skudt ned, og hvorfor blev de ikke opdaget tidligere? Og der kommer et tidspunkt, hvor vi
When there comes a time when we must look back at the events of
må kigge tilbage i de seneste dages
recent days and learn from them, but here and now, we as a
hændelser og lære af dem. Men her og nu har vi som regering
government and authority have an overriding task, and that
og myndigheder en altoverskyggende opgave, og det er at passe på Danmark.
is to take care of Denmark and enable us to better
Og gøre os i stand til bedre at imødegå de hybride
counter the hybrid attacks as quickly as possible.
angreb så hurtigt som muligt. Og hvor er vi nu? For det første
First, the authorities have raised the level of preparedness, and they are
så har myndighederne hævet beredskabet, og de forbereder sig på forskellige scenarier.
preparing for different scenarios.
Det betyder blandt andet, at både forsvaret
This means, among other things, that both armed forces and the police
og politiet vil være mere til stede med antidrone
will be present with anti-drone capabilities and critical
kapaciteter omkring kritisk infrastruktur i den kommende
infrastructure in the coming time.
tid. Samtidig er myndighederne i
At the same time, the authorities are in close contact with our
tæt kontakt med vores allierede med henblik på
allies with a view to quickly strengthen our own Danish
hurtigt at styrke vores egne danske kapaciteter til at kunne opdage
capabilities to be able to detect and defeat drones.
og til at kunne nedkæmpe droner. For det andet så har myndighederne
Second, the authorities have a mandate to remove them.
mandat til, at fjendtlige droner kan tages ned.
Drones can be taken down, but if it is a course, drones can be taken down, but it is of course the responsible authorities. Again, I take it this is direct translation.
Men det er selvfølgelig de ansvarlige myndigheder, der skal foretage den operative
We must make the operational assessment of the specific situation.
vurdering i den konkrete situation herunder af de konkrete
Below are specific security risks.
sikkerhedsrisici. Og for det tredje så har jeg over de
And thirdly, I have been in contact with a number of my European colleagues over
seneste dage været i kontakt med en række af mine europæiske
the last few days.
kolleger. Jeg har talt med den
I have spoken to the German Chancellor and the British Prime Minister. Well, you're fucked.
tyske kansler, den britiske premierminister, statsministerne i vores
Of our neighbouring countries, Sweden and Norway, and the president of Finland.
naboland, Sverige og Norge, og med den finske præsident. Ligesom jeg har været i
I have also been in close dialogue with NATO's Security General,
tæt dialog med NATO's generalsekretær, og vi er nu fra
and we are now in close dialogue with NATO allies on
dansk side i tæt dialog med NATO-allierede om,
how they can assist Denmark in the current situation,
hvordan de i den aktuelle situation kan bistå Danmark, så vi
so that we can protect and defend our airspace.
kan beskytte og forsvare vores luftrum. De hybride angreb har ikke kun
The hybrid attacks have not only affected Denmark. I don't understand why we're calling them hybrid attacks.
Yeah, that would so hybrid.
What's it a hybrid of? Because it's an aerial attack, and is it? What about it being an unmanned vehicle? If we're saying it's unmanned, what makes that a hybrid attack? A hybrid attack would suggest an attack from two vectors, wouldn't it?
Unless
if you
they're
were-
not reporting on the ones that are coming from the sea.
Well, this is what I mean. It's if you were an island and you were being attacked by land and sea, you could refer to that as a hybrid attack. It's a strange choice of words that's coming up over and over again. So anyway, let's carry on.
ramt Danmark. Der har for nyligt også
There have also been recent incidents in Poland,
været hændelser i både Polen, Estland og Rumænien.
Estonia, Romania. Hybrid war, not a war in the traditional sense.
Hybridkrig er ikke en krig i sådan traditionel forstand. Hybride angreb
Hybrid attacks must confuse us. They must be made
skal forvirre os. De skal gøre os usikre. Og det er fra en fejl
insecure, and that is for a cowardly enemy.
fjende, som ikke tør give sig til kende.
Who does not dare to make himself known once.
Den ene gang, der kan det være droner.
There may be drones,
En anden gang kan det være
and another time it could be cyber attacks. So, right,
They're trying to
That-
push down Russia.
maybe.
Like by the sounds of this, they are.
I mean, you would think that, but
cyber.
Yeah, there's just something weird. Like if they'd been hit with cyber attacks at the same time, I would get this hybrid attack thing. I don't get the hybrid attack thing. So I might be just being dumb though. That's
But just for the audience, I'm glad I'm not reading this because it's bad enough that the spacing in between the words. Like they've not done this very well, have they?
No, obviously this is this is AI translated, like you can tell.
Cyberangreb, det kan være det vi
It can now be what we call disinformation. What is disinformation? Like, were the drones there or not?
kalder disinformation. Det kan være påvirkning
If it can influence elections,
af
conspiracy
valghandlinger,
theories you read on the internet,
konspirationsteorier, man læser på nettet. Men uanset
but no matter which method we come to see, the purpose is the same.
hvilken metode vi kommer til at se, så er formålet det samme. Man ønsker at
They want to destabilize our society, and they want us
destabilisere vores samfund, og man ønsker, at vi ikke længere
to have to no longer have confidence in our authorities. See, I think that very much to me sounds like making excuses. That's that sounds like a country that's out of control of a situation, that's blaming an adversary for making it look like they don't have control of a situation.
skal have tillid til vores myndigheder. Og alt sammen,
All of this underlines that the security
så understreger de, at sikkerhedstruslen mod Europa
threat to Europe is serious, and it is real. See, that points towards Russia.
er alvorlig, og den er reel. Det er derfor, vi
That is why we have been in a process of a massive
igennem de seneste år har været i gang med en massiv
reanimant. I can't say that word.
Rearmament.
Yeah, I can't say that. Sorry. Of our Danish defense in recent years.
oprustning af vores eget danske forsvar. Det er i øvrigt også derfor, vi blev ved
That is also why we continue to support Ukraine, which I believe can help us in
med at støtte Ukraine, som jeg tror kan hjælpe os i den her
this situation.
situation. Fordi hvis der er nogen, der har forstand
Because if there is anyone who knows how to fight drones, it is our
på at bekæmpe droner, så er det vores venner i Ukraine, og
friends in Ukraine, and therefore we are on course. We of course also know in dialogue now in Jesus
Of course,
Christ, Lee.
and we are of course also
dialogue.
now in dialogue. So we're in talks.
derfor er vi selvfølgelig også nu i
It's
dialog med
worded
dem.
weird.
Jeg er også nødt til at sige,
With them, also have to say that it takes time to restore Danish defense.
det tager tid at genoprette dansk forsvar. Det beder jeg ikke om tålmodighed med,
I don't ask for patience with that because I don't really have it myself.
fordi den har jeg i virkeligheden ikke selv. Men vi har travlt.
But we are busy, and I ask for your understanding
Og jeg beder om forståelse for, at
that even if we do, it is not possible after all.
selvom vi har det, så kan det trods alt ikke lade sig gøre, hverken fra den ene
Neither overnight nor from one year to the next.
dag til den anden, eller fra det ene år til det andet. Og jeg er også nødt til at sige, og
I also have to say this is especially to some of the
det her er særligt til nogle af partierne i Folketinget,
parties in the I can't say that. That is the goal for hybrid attacks.
Folketing.
Yeah, that is the goal of the hybrid attacks.
at målet med hybride angreb, det er ikke kun at teste vores
It is not just a test of our authorities and our preparations.
vores myndigheder eller vores beredskab. Det er som sagt
As I said, it is also to see how do we react as a society.
også at se, hvordan reagerer vi som samfund, og
How do we react politically?
hvordan reagerer vi politisk. Vi skal være på vagt.
We have to be vigilant, and if something is not working, then of course it has to
Og hvis der er noget, der ikke fungerer, så skal det selvfølgelig rettes op.
be corrected.
Be corrected.
We are in the process of doing that,
Det er vi i gang med. Men vi skal altså også bevare roen.
but we must remain calm.
Tiden er ikke
This is not the time for quick announcements
til hurtige meldinger eller
or political outbidding or distrust.
politisk overbud eller mistillidserklæringer til
Statements to the authorities or the police, because there are no
myndigheder eller til politiet. Fordi der er ikke nogen ansvarlige politikere,
responsible politicians who will be able to guarantee the Danish
der vil kunne garantere den danske befolkning, at vi helt kan
population that we can completely avoid hybrid attacks.
undgå hybridangreb. Det kan man i øvrigt ikke i
Incidentally, you cannot do that in any country.
noget land. Og det er nok snarere lige præcis
And it is probably exactly the opposite,
omvendt faktisk, at vi kommer til at se mere
that we will see more sabotage,
sabotage, flere hacker,
more hacker attacks, and even more drones, submarine
endnu flere droner, såkaldte
cables that are destroyed, direct attacks into
kabler, der ødelægges, direkte angreb ind i
European democracies as we currently see it in
de
the
europæiske demokratier, som vi aktuelt ser det i det lille land Moldova.
small country where promises that the Denmark and
At Danmark og Europa
Europe are under more violent and frequent hybrid attacks.
er under mere voldsomme og hyppige hybride angreb. Det betragter
I see that as a new reality.
jeg som en ny virkelighed. I næste uge, der mødes
Next week, all the heads of state and government of Europe will meet in
alle Europas stats- og regeringschefer her i København.
Copenhagen.
Vi skal diskutere
We must discuss European defense and security, including
europæisk forsvar og sikkerhed, herunder etablering af
the establishment of an actual drone murder.
en egentlig dronemord. Med andre ord,
In other words,
Europa skal ruste sig,
Europe must arm itself. We must rearm.
og vi skal opruste. Og vi skal aldrig
And we should never make chairs because we can't be Danes like that.
lade os true. For sådan kan vi ikke være danskere, og sådan kan vi heller ikke være
We cannot be Europeans like that in these hours and days.
europæere. I de her timer og dage, der er vi meget vel i det,
We are very much in what could be called the
man kan kalde sådan den indledende fase i den
initial phase of imminent crisis management.
umiddelbare krisehåndtering. Det har vi prøvet før i andre
In other situations, and I have also said what I am saying.
situationer. Og jeg har også sagt det, jeg siger nu før, at
Before that, in the handling of a difficult
i enhver håndtering af en svær krise, der er der en risiko for, at
crisis, there is a risk that you will make mistakes,
man kommer til at begå fejl. Og det er ikke altid,
and it is not just that we can quickly give good answers to the
at vi hurtigt kan give gode svar på de spørgsmål, der løbende
questions that will arise on an ongoing basis.
vil opstå. Men
But as a government, we will strive
som regering, der vil vi altså bestræbe os på at
to tell the public what we can.
fortælle offentligheden det, vi kan. Det samme vil myndighederne.
Of course, the authorities want the same with a consideration.
Selvfølgelig med en omtanke. Nemlig,
Namely, that those who wishes harm they listen to
at dem, der vil os det ondt, de lytter med på
all the discussions we have with each other.
alle diskussioner, vi har med hinanden. Og selvom
Even if the authorities cannot conclude who is behind the
myndighederne ikke kan konkludere, hvem der står bag de hybride angreb mod
hybrid attacks against our airports and other critical
vores lufthavne og anden kritisk infrastruktur, så kan vi i hvert fald
infrastructure, we can at least conclude that these are that there is primarily
konstatere, at der primært er et land, der
one country that poses a threat to the security of to Europe's security,
udgør en trussel for Europas sikkerhed, og det er Rusland.
and that is Russia, and therefore ultimately an important point.
Og derfor til sidst en vigtig pointe.
That's a really weird thing to say, isn't it? Even if we can't work out where the drones are coming from.
Yep.
Hashtag Russia. There is no European country that can defend itself against Russia.
Der er ikke noget europæisk land, der kan forsvare sig alene mod Rusland. Det kan ikke engang
Defend
Not
itself
even
alone against Russia.
Yeah, not even Ukraine, which has otherwise bravely fought for more than 3 years.
Ukraine, som ellers tappert har kæmpet i mere.
And see, this is what gets me with the propaganda of things. How many times were we told like 2 years ago that fucking Russia were on the ropes? Russia have lost like 30% of its fucking army. Like Russia was sending like rusty tanks into fucking battle. Like the problem with gaslighting is if you lie at some point that catches up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yep.
so what's true? This has always been my problem with Russia. We're being told at the same time, like this is the thing. I am 100% not a fucking Russian apologist by any stretch of the imagination. Like all this stuff when you get,
I would never apologize for being Russian. No.
It's just all these people that have come out of the woodwork, and it's like, oh, it's you get people talking about like Keir Starmer, for instance, or other politicians and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'd rather if fucking Putin was in charge of our country. And you go, what, Putin, who has got a long fucking history of murdering his political opponents? Like, it's if you had that, if Keir Starmer took a leaf out of Putin's book, there wouldn't be a worry about a reform party getting in, because Nigel Farage would have already been fucking killed.
Well, when you put it like that.
End 3 år nu. Og det er jo derfor, vi har vores NATO-alliance.
And that we now have our NATO alliance.
Det er derfor, vi er i gang med at
That this is why we are in the process of expanding the European defense industry.
udbygge den europæiske forsvarsindustri. Det er
Today, and that is why we are in the process of historic rearmament. There we are. Here in
og det er derfor, vi er i gang med en historisk oprustning her
Denmark.
i Danmark. Og de seneste dages begivenheder
I didn't think this would be this long. And in the events of the last few days, only underline how important
understreger kun, hvor vigtigt det er, at vi handler,
it is that we act, but that we do so together with others in Europe and in
men at vi gør det sammen med andre i Europa
NATO.
og i NATO. Tak fordi du lyttede med.
So either aliens, World War III, psychological warfare. It's either of these, or it's all three in one, mate. I don't know what's going on. We just know that there's more things happening. But, holy moly. We have Poland, Switzerland, the UK and Heathrow Airport had some stuff as of recent, which people aren't talking about either. These incursions happen in New Jersey and multiple other countries as well. This is something that is ongoing. We don't know where they are, who they are, where they're coming from, where they're disappearing to. You can't take photos of them because they don't show up on images and stuff like that. They kind of, for some reason, you can't identify these things. Anti-drone warfare equipment doesn't work, so you can't disable them or bring them down. And they're just moseying on round, so who knows?
So,
Well done, Lee.
I've got an interesting thought
Well
about
done.
this.
I feel
Thank you.
I feel like we need to give you
P.
that. That looked painful.
So, do you know what this reminds me of? Wasn't there an incident where I want to say it was the 70s, where there was a UFO recorded through on radar, and it was moved so quickly it involved conversations between Russia and the US to fucking cool down the fact that it was a missile.
Oh, I don't know about this.
I've heard, yeah, I can't remember when it was or where it was, but I know there was a situation where a UFO could have caused World War III, and or at least fucking like US and Russia to kick off with each other. Now, the problem we have with this being it's the Russians, and I get there's a fucking like regional warfare going on over there with Ukraine and Russia. I get that. That doesn't explain why if I get my notes up, the 19th to 21st of December in 2018, there were reports of drones or unidentified aerial objects, because back then we weren't just calling everything a drone, above Gatwick's runway that forced multiple shutdowns of the airport over roughly 48 hours, i.e. nearly 2 days. It created massive flight disruptions. 144,000 passengers were affected, and about 1,000 flights cancelled and diverted. Speculation, including in the media, that it was perhaps there was no actual drones, or it might have been mass panic or misidentifications. Now, there was video of this stuff that didn't happen, and misidentifications that shut a fucking airport down. I remember them trying to shoot them out of the sky, if you remember that. Now, that was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were Russia testing English airspace in 2018, and for what purpose? Right, England is not a military power anymore. Why are we testing? Why would Russia be testing the military readiness of fucking Gatwick Airport in 2018? Then the stuff he was talking about there, I don't know when he said, I'll have to look into that, if there was more drone incursions in Europe. British. No, I do remember now. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? There was more drones spotted over a British airport. But then earlier this year, we had the photographs that came out, which showed that purple ball that landed on the tarmac. Mm. There was a photograph. There was a photograph, wasn't there? There's a couple of photographs of this, like, what kind of looks like. I thought it looked like half a car size, like a family car split in two and then rounded. And the wild thing about that was, obviously, the fucking internet hive mind got involved, and because of the controls of the plane that were in the photograph, because it was taken from the cockpit of an airliner, they managed to work out what plane it was, and then because they're fucking nerds, they managed to track what plane it was leaving the runway at that point, because they could see the tail of the plane in front, so they worked out what part of the queue it was and found the fucking plane, and it was stranded and it was delayed at the same time that this picture has got this picture of a drone in it. Sorry about that, people. There was a slight technical glitch that fucking happened to us. Maybe the Russians were after us after all.
I might have pressed something. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, but that what I think what I was saying before, whatever happened, that we've had these incursions in recent times with drones, but what makes that different to like the O'Hare incident? To be honest, to be fair, like the O'Hare incident, you had a flying saucer supposedly. There was an airport shut down in China, I think, within the last 3 years, and that was said to have had a flying saucer sitting over the top of it.
Well, do you know, I can see coming down the line the UK starting to speak about this. I think we'll see a lot of Europe speaking about it, and then all of a sudden it's actually we found out it's not Russia. And then it's like, oh, whoa, what's going on then? What's fucking going on then? Because I mean, what's going on in the US at the minute? They're all meeting up this week.
Well, I have a little clip we can play for that, just someone explaining what's going on there, because I only found out the other day that the Trumper himself is going to that too. So let's have a quick listen to this, because I think it's poignant.
Well, it looks like the plot's continuing to thicken because the President of the United States has publicly announced over the weekend that he's planning on attending this massive meeting in Quantico, Virginia, where all of the U.S. military's generals are going to be meeting with the Secretary of War on September 30th of 2025, which means that security is going to be completely insane out there, especially given the influx of high-profile figures and the base's proximity to Washington, D.C., and not to mention the fact that every single general in the United States military will be there all at the same time in one place. Now, White House officials confirmed that the president will be there and that he will be participating, and they also noted that it will take place during Pete Hegseth's core presentation. Now, according to a bunch of different sources, people have said that the agenda for this meeting is going to be focused on, quote, revitalizing the warrior ethos, which is a concept that the Secretary of War frequently invokes in speeches to emphasize discipline, fitness, combat readiness, and a return to traditional military values amid what he has described as years of erosion under prior administrations. A lot of sources also indicate that there's going to be discussions covering grooming standards, troop morale, and operational reforms, potentially including proposals to demote select 3- and 4-star officers or consolidate combatant commands. Either way, I can only imagine the level of stress and pressure that all of the base security is feeling right now.
So anybody who is anybody when it comes to military and people of power is going to be at this event. That seems like a bit of a risk.
And don't forget it's a massive security risk. Of course it is. But also don't forget that you've got what the Dutch Prime Minister was talking about a massive big NATO summit going on as well. To talk about European readiness, and right, this very well could be a like talks about
how soldiers should look.
Yeah, like how much bling can trans soldiers wear, but it could be like we could be on the verge of World War. And that's what these people are going to talk about. But I don't buy it. Like the fact that the anti-aircraft stuff won't work, the New Jersey drones. So, do you know what? I will accept that the Danes are not what you think of as like a military powerhouse.
Mm-hmm. So
whatever they have as like anti-aircraft like technology, I'll take that. So if you fly, let's say it's Russian, or Chinese, I will take that Russia and Chinese drones that have gone into Denmark, and Denmark have used what we would consider classic anti-aircraft like stuff to try and stop them. Hasn't worked. I'll buy that. But we're also talking about incursions over American cities. and American military bases and British military bases as
Mhm.
well, might I add. But especially the American military base. So you're telling me I have to believe then that again, you talk about the gaslighting. We're constantly being told that China can't produce anything because all they do is copy other people's IP. So they're always behind because they're just copying what other people do. We're also told that, like, apart from like a bit of the fact it's a nuclear power, that Russia's half on its arse, and like Ukraine have nearly beat it 2 years ago. Yet one of those two countries have flown high-tech military hardware into its airspace and
Undetected for a start.
undetected, and the US military couldn't bring it down. So are we supposed to believe that because if that's the case, we're in trouble, because that means they've made a leap somewhere.
Or is it something else?
And then think about the like the Tic Tac. Let's go back to the Tic Tac and the like, was that Russia? Now are we blaming that on Russia?
I mean, if you really want to go into conspiracy with this, I don't think it's any of them. Do I think we've got that sort of technology? Like, probably. Do I think that some of this that we're seeing up there could be, and I'm not saying it's alien, but what if it's somebody else, like a different group of people just fucking causing fucking chaos.
Well, I mean, these are the two.
I don't mean kids. I mean like fucking
yeah.
one of those groups.
Well, there's three lanes you can go down with this, isn't there? So naturally, like, one of the lanes we can go down is interstellar visitors. Like, we can always go down there. It's something we've talked about for a long time. We're gonna pull some stuff up about 3i Atlas in a minute. I'm convinced that when it first came out, it was called 3AI Atlas. Convinced of it.
I think it was.
I think it was too.
Either that, or you just kept calling it that, and I just thought, oh, you know what?
Maybe
that must be what it's called.
You must be right.
I mean, you are the only other human that I speak to.
This is a fact.
I mean, I've got a wife, but we don't talk.
Am I human or am I deep faked? Yeah, but you got the interstellar traveler thing to fuck with. Could it be that? Could be. We've got is it a parallel species that we share the planet with that has essentially interacted with us for a long time, and it for some reason we seem to be more on the radar right now. You've got Tim Burchett was leaving Congress the other day, wasn't he? When somebody stopped to speak to about it, and he turned around and said that he has intel that there is at least 3 underwater locations where non-human intelligence is operating bases from in the sea. That's Congressman Tim Burchett. At least 3 locations where non-human intelligence are operating bases from. Wild.
With these transmedium crafts.
But do you know what? If there is something under the water, doesn't that make we talk about Atlantis, and there's all of the Atlantean theories and stuff. And you've got the Bright Insight guy, which thinks it's the Rickock structure. I can't say that word. Then you've got other people saying that it's sunk off the coast of Bahamas, and There's varying places around the world where people have said that Atlantis might be. But what if that's valid? And we know things have changed. We know the planet's changed over centuries and millennia, and the places where there was land, there's now sea. Places where there's deserts, there was once like fertile, like jungle. What if those things we see are underwater, like ruins, but that wasn't Atlantis?
That was us.
What if what like Plato was talking about when he said he was taken down to see these other beings that live somewhere else, and that was Atlantis? That's why we have this myth of the glass domed undersea sort of cities and stuff. Maybe that's there.
I mean, they do say that we know more about space, the moon, than we do about our own oceans. I think that's probably bullshit. But
because we can see all the moon. We know more about the surface of the moon than the bottom of our oceans is the thing, isn't it? So, I mean, we can see half of it all the time.
Here's the problem, though, because you've right now you've got all this stuff going on. You've got all these UFOs, drones. You've got 3i Atlas on its way, and it's all going on at the same time.
There's been some right weird stuff happen with the AI Atlas as well. 3i Atlas.
When you sent me that fucking video today, I actually thought, has it stopped?
It did.
It did?
It did, and then it travelled faster. Right. Let me.
They lost track. No, it was the other guy you sent me. Some guy did a prank. I said, "Oh, it's just stopped." Turn on the news channels now. I'm like, maybe you didn't send me that one, and I'm like, fucking hell, has it stopped?
That wasn't a prank.
Was it not?
No.
Well, one of the videos I watched, the guy said it was a prank.
Oh, right. No, but this was the. Let me play this video. This is what I'm talking about. I've got two videos to play. This one's dead.
Let's rock and roll.
Dead quick.
There's an insane update on 3i Atlas, and what I'm talking about is it was being tracked by basically every major telescoping tracking device that we have on this planet to keep an eye on it, and it disappeared for approximately 19 minutes. Tell me more! Yeah, it disappeared from every tracking telescope we had on this thing, and it popped up 211 million miles forward, meaning from Mars to Jupiter, it moved, meaning it actually teleported. So I'm just trying to think if a comet can do such a thing, and it's not ringing a bell. Okay. The experts on this case are saying that it's a little terrifying that it teleported so quickly, and it worries them because if it does that as it gets closer to Earth, we may see it 1 second, and poof, it may be here the next. Okay.
So this thing essentially jumped. It jumped speed.
Yeah.
In the blink of a fucking eye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the blink of 19 minutes. Is that 19 minutes that they lost it for?
Yeah, it's also getting larger and brighter. It's now bigger than they thought it was by. There's also another, like there's a group of interstellar objects that are coming as well. There's another one behind it called Swan, which is 100 times bigger than 3i Atlas, I believe.
That's not worrying.
Don't
you find it?
Weird that
odd.
we've never had interstellar objects and now we don't stop having them. Me Amour was the second. Yeah.
and don't you find it odd that we've not been fucking hit by something big?
Yeah.
See, it seems like a fucking miracle to me.
In the same way, reason that same way that I find it weird that the face of the moon is peppered with impacts, when realistically the Earth should be in the way.
I mean, I find it weird that you never see those the craters never change. Like if you look at pictures of the moon from the earliest pictures, and you look at the pictures, the craters look exactly the same.
I mean, technically they wouldn't change, though, would they?
Well, I don't know if it's hit by something big enough, because the moon does protect. Well, actually, no. Jupiter apparently protects us from everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
It is the savior. Our little fucking solar system's perfect, mate. Like if what the scientists are telling us is true, the moon is just fucking perfect for us. How it controls the fucking tides, everything.
Yeah.
How it's perfectly in orbit, and kind of like Jupiter is just like the big daddy that protects us from fucking everything. But is he going to protect us from this one?
I mean, don't forget that there is there's writings of a time before the moon was there.
Yep. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe they're dropping something off.
Coming back to get their moon.
Can you imagine if you wake up one day and the moon's gone? Can you imagine women would lose their shit?
Why? Because men would have to build a new one. I've got one more video here, and it's slightly longer, and there's probably got some more talking points on it. But I really like this lady. She's on TikTok. I should try and shout out her. Her handle thing isn't on it. Where is it? It's Spirit and Sass on.
I thought I said Spirit and Ass then.
I mean, very, very much so. But yeah, like I like her TikToks. You should go and check them out. I mean, her out. Here we go.
Is continuing to get weirder. With the latest updates, it is in our solar system now, which I thought was weird because they said that it was going to come much later, but they also have put out there pretty much that it's not reacting to any kind of gravitational pull. So it's accelerating on its own accord through its own propulsion. I don't know how you want me to say that, but it's doing its own thing there. And then what I found interesting was when this was being announced about a month ago, Avi Loeb said that there was going to be an indicator of whether it was technological in nature or whether it was natural, and that was going to be by its behavior when it's out of our visual field behind the sun. And they showed the trajectory as going straight through our solar system, not reacting. Remember, they're saying it's not reacting to any gravitational pull. And now they're saying that, like it's nothing, that it's going to course correct, or it's going to change its trajectory and go around the sun. And the reason why I'm paying so much attention to the fact that they're talking about it changing its trajectory around the sun or going around the sun is because they said that if it were to slow down, so it's speeding up right now, but if it were to slow down, it would actually go towards Earth. And if it changed its trajectory around the sun, that's where Earth is. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I do find that extremely interesting. Then it would be passing by essentially almost every major planet in our solar system and then ending with us. So they don't know where this is going to end up. just basically because it's not reacting to anything that any other comets would react to. It's also getting a lot brighter as it comes closer to the sun. And of course, it's heating up as it comes closer to the sun, but it's getting much brighter than any other comet that we've experienced in the past. And then what's really weird is the coma, instead of it going behind 3I Atlas, it's stretching out and elongating towards the sun. So it's in front of it, which I think is really wild and crazy. And then some private astronomers, not related to NASA or the government, this isn't being announced on the news or anything, private astronomers were watching it, and it's already reached Jupiter. It's already gone past Jupiter, which was not expected. It was expected to be, if you look back, they were saying that it was going to pass Jupiter around March of 2026. So it's already passed it because of the whole acceleration thing, doing the whole its own propulsion thing. But they were watching it, it was going towards it, it just completely disappeared when it reached Jupiter. So it either evaporated or landed, I don't know what it is, but it completely disappeared, and then it reappeared and kept going on its trajectory, which is not freaking normal. Also, because of the color change and it brightening even more, it kind of makes me think of the Hopi prophecy. If you know the blue star Kachina, when the blue star Kachina comes into the sky, there's supposed to be like a revitalization or kind of like a washing machine for the planet. There's the blue star Kachina and the red star Kachina, and it's just, I find it really interesting. It kind of links in my mind to that, just simply because the Hopi people actually have a lot of really cool stories. And I call it their history because it is their history. They're telling us what's going on. They also are the ones that talk about the ant people. And if you don't know about the ant people, they say that throughout history, the ant people would come up from underground. And by the way, they look like gray aliens in their cave paintings and everything like that. They come up from underground and bring the Hopi people down underground with them to save them from natural disasters or catastrophes throughout history, and then they'd bring them back up and they'd help them rebuild civilization, which is kind of like all the other stories that you hear about the sky people or the people that come from the ocean, and they have the ant people that come from the... Anyways, I thought that was really interesting. Also, if you haven't noticed, on, I think it was September 12th, China shot down what looked like a comet coming down kind of slowly. It wasn't coming down quite as quickly as normal comets, but it shot it out of the sky. That just kind of disappeared from the internet. It blew up for like a split second and then disappeared. So maybe I should say for entertainment purposes only on that one. Yeah. There's video footage though. A lot of people saw it. I'm just giving you updates. I'm not saying that it's technological in nature. I'm not saying that it's a comet. I'm just saying this is the information that we have right now, and it's seeming really freaking weird, which I love because I love stuff. Weird stuff is my favorite. Indeed. Okay, love you, bye.
She's got a lovely guitar.
Mm-hmm. She has.
I totally forgot about China fucking shooting that fucking comet out of the sky.
Yeah.
That's fucking... Because it's 2025. That's what happens, Lee. We shoot comets out of the sky. When have we done that?
This is what gets me. Well, I mean, I'm not having that as a comet. I just don't believe. Like you said, it's moving so slowly as well for a comet.
Well, just
meteor
hold the fucking phone for a second, right? When have they ever announced? Oh, by the way, we now have the technology to shoot meteorites, comets out of the sky.
I didn't get that memo. But this is my problem with the Dutch Prime Minister, pointing the finger at Russia for the drone incursions, is because A, this shit it's not new. It's not new stuff. And B, it's happened everywhere. It's not just if God help us if we do go to a world war, God, the idea of a global conflict is terrifying to me. But can we just? We must see that it wouldn't be Russia on its own. You're gonna have the BRICS nations like versus the like NATO alliance type countries. So why would if these things are Russian, then why would Russia be like infiltrating China's airspace when they're allies?
Yep.
Just it doesn't make sense.
Makes zero sense.
None of it makes sense. And maybe it doesn't make sense because we haven't got all the pieces. And the third option I was going to give you before, where we were going for aliens, ultra-terrestrial life forms, the third option is the technocratic elite breakaway civilization. That it's a human. It's a human element, which is. Like what Brett Weinstein was saying when he was talking about UFOs and some of the stuff that people are talking about when it comes to UFOs and the propulsion of them and things like that. And he said when we see these things that defy the laws of physics, it's because at some point, if they're man-made, then that means there is a section of the world which is working to a new physics, a physics that isn't readily available to the scientific community as we know it. I tend to not believe that either because loose lips sink ships.
What do you think of? I don't know if you saw this today, but I was listening to Vetted and our Australian friend. I've forgotten his name.
Oh, Josh. Josh.
What's the channel called? It's fucking great.
Polarity.
Yeah. I don't know why I can get that word out. But they were talking about Ross Coulthard. And he's basically turned around and said that he's heard things about 3i Atlas that it's nothing. And I found that extremely odd because...
Makes me think it's something.
Yeah, because he rides that truck. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
I've got the clip if you want to see it.
Yeah. You can play the clip. Play the clip. Absolutely.
I'll play it for the audience, yeah. And then have you seen Avi's response?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I have seen it. It was... I found his response a little strange, if I'm honest.
So this is Vetted. Go check him out. Good old Patrick.
He's the best.
He lives in Spain now.
Like, of any of the UFO creators, like, he's the best.
Yeah, he's great.
3i Atlas object, which is, if some people are saying it correctly, a comet. If you're Professor Avi Loeb, you think it's potentially something anomalous. Let's deal also with the claims that have been made, mainly by Professor Avi Loeb, who is driving, God bless him, a lot of other astronomers to distraction with his persistent assertions that there is something anomalous about 3i Atlas. The ball is very much in Professor Avi Loeb's court right now to prove his case that there is something anomalous about 3i Atlas and that it's just not, it's not just another meteor or comet. I've consulted with astronomers. I've consulted with people who've contacted me in great frustration because they don't understand why Professor Loeb is making such a huge song and dance on very, very limited evidence that there is something anomalous about 3i Atlas. And I've been very willing to give Professor Loeb a good go because I have huge respect for him. He's very, very well respected in the field. And I just have a hunch that just maybe he's had a tip, a private tip from somebody in NASA or some other space observatory telling him that there is something anomalous about 3i Atlas. But certainly the official position from a broad range of astronomers that I've engaged with is thus, that there is no anomalous behavior or movement detected with 3i Atlas. The most recent scientific assessments, including orbital solutions from the Minor Planet Center and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, indicate that 3i Atlas follows a trajectory fully consistent with gravitational dynamics for an interstellar comet.
All right, so as you can see from Rob...
Cheers, Vetted, mate.
See, right, I think I'm happy. I'm happy to say this because I don't think we will ever get him on the show as a guest. So
Who, Ross or Avi?
Ross, I think we've got a reason. I think we've got a chance at Avi Loeb. It's so like I actually think if I could get if I could find a contact for him, I think we could probably get him on the show. But alas, I haven't been able to find that like a contact for him.
Everybody knows his contact details. Just send them.
Yeah, I've tried to get in touch with Ross Coulthard before, and he like I couldn't get a response back from Ross Coulthard. But he strikes me as a man that's put in a place to say some shit.
Well, Polarity made a really interesting comment about Ross, and he was on the fence either way. Not on the sorry, he wasn't taking anybody's side with this, but he said it was interested that Ross as a knowing what Ross does, because he could just ride the Free Eye Atlas train, you know. It's a fucking hot topic at the minute until it passes. But it's interesting that he's literally gone on the offensive and said, you know, it's nothing.
Yeah, and
he might be right.
Oh, he might. Yeah, he absolutely might be right. But you're right. I think it doesn't make sense with what he's saying. But there's been a few things when it comes to him where I feel like he's kind of got his own little Overton window. You know, there's like acceptable UFO speak for Ross, and then unacceptable UFO speak for Ross. The MH370 video would definitely fall within the zone of unacceptable speech for Ross.
Lee, he's told us there's a fucking UFO so big. There's a building.
It doesn't make sense, yeah. Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense.
But Ashton can't have his bit. Avi can't have his bit.
Yeah. And it's, do you know what?
Ross, we have questions.
And do you know what the difference between Ross and Avi Loeb? Avi Loeb talking about 3i Atlas and Ross Coulthard talking about the buried UFO somewhere. Do you know what the difference is? One of them was sober.
Avi's an expert in his field.
No, one of them was sober.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He's clearly had a few bevies when he went on when he went on Project Unity.
And not that this matters, and not that this matters to me, but if you go back and watch that video of Ross drunk on Project Unity, if I was being spoken to by a drunk man, I'd be the way Ross was speaking, I'd be asking myself, am I being hit on here? There's a weird interaction. But like, look, I don't think we should.
I mean, I'd have flirted back to get that information. Just tell me where it is, Ross. Just tell me where it is.
What do I need to take off? I just don't.
I have Avi's response if you want to see that before we get into this.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Because if our audience haven't seen it, I think it's he's clearly a little bit fucked off, if I'm honest.
I'm sure he is.
Well, with all due respect, Ross Coulthard is not a scientist. And the statement he made in the last sentence is exactly the basis for a scientific paper that I submitted for publication last night. There is no non-gravitational acceleration, despite the fact that there is evaporation from the object. That means the object is very massive, anomalously massive, 1,000 times more massive than Borisov, the previous object, and 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua. And this is just the lower limit. That's the minimum mass that is needed in order for it not to show any push back away from the sun. So if you see, an object that is, let's say, a dust particle, you see twice an object of the size of a dust particle, and then you see a boulder that is 1,000,000 times more massive appearing. Wouldn't that be curious? Wouldn't that be strange? Wouldn't that be anomalous? And just to remind whoever is viewing this, Ross himself keeps talking for years about unidentified anomalous phenomena. So he makes a living out of talking, not doing science, just talking and speaking to other people who do science. And he himself is engaged with things that appear anomalous. I'm doing the science. I published scientific papers. I wrote 9 scientific papers over the past 2 months on 3i Atlas. I'm not a journalist asking for the advice of other people to tell me what this object is. I'm actually doing the research to tell me what the object is. So for a journalist to go around and solicit consensus view about an object and then talk for years about anomalous phenomena that the same people that he's talking with right now would completely dismiss as irrelevant. The same UAP that he keeps talking about, UFOs, UAP, and he talks about it for many, many, many broadcasts. If he were to go to the same people that he talked with about 3i Atlas, they would completely dismiss that as irrelevant. Yet, he believes that there are unidentified anomalous phenomena and he keeps talking about it forever. But for 3i Atlas, no. He will go to the same people that dismiss UAP and ask for their advice and then use sort of an average over their opinions to claim that when Avi Loeb does scientific work on this object, we should not accept it. Why? Because a group of other people said to him that we should not consider any anomalies. And I say, well, exactly this sentence that he said at the end, where the object doesn't show any non-gravitational acceleration, that sentence is an anomaly. Why?
So yeah, he's
Makes sense. What he's saying makes sense.
yeah, no, it does make sense. Absolutely. I saw you had my favorite clip queued up there, by the way.
Yeah. Have I still got it? Have I still got it? Is it still? It's still here.
You got to play that. You got to play that.
Right, genuinely, since this 3i Atlas stuff come up, this really gives me the creeps, this clip.
Just
Jeremy
before you hit play, just let me say something. What were you going to say, mate? Sorry.
I was just going to say what it was. Carry on.
No, this is so fitting, though, in with what's going on, with what Ross has just said. And Jeremy talking about this. That's interesting that you've picked this clip right now with what with the Avi and Ross dispute.
So let's listen to Jeremy Corbell about what he has predicted will happen.
Sometimes when you want somebody to know a truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat, but that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People have been whispering a date for a long time now. I sent you 2 texts today, not from me. I'm not going to propagate that lie. Everybody knows. Just start paying attention. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Sometime.
So we're good with 3i Atlas. It's before 2027.
Well, no, don't forget that the extended clip of that, he turns around and he said maybe it'd be brought forward.
Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
There's also no at the minute this is still a comet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tend to think that whatever 3I Atlas is, it's more than we're being told it is right now. Now, does that mean that it is a direct is it a comet, but it's like a direct threat to life on the planet? Is that the emergency that everyone's been worried about and prepping about, and the reason that everything seems to have gone fucking crazy? Because if something like that slammed into the surface of the planet, or certainly into the sea, we would have a few fucking problems.
Mate, we wouldn't be here.
Well, no, it depends where it lands.
I mean, if it's as big as Avi says it is, we'd be fucked.
Manhattan, the size of Manhattan.
I think that's bigger than the dinosaur killer.
I'm not sure it is, but I think you would. Well, and let's be perfectly fucking honest. We have no idea what happened with the dinosaurs, but
they took a day off.
It's just not. Something's weird, and something gives me the creeps about it all, and I can't quite put my finger on what it is. And then I wonder about this whole thing about the corona of the comet being like in front of it instead of behind it, and then that makes me wonder. Well, if something's traveling interstellar, then the idea that it's just got like fuel engines in the back of it that's pushing it forward it's a very human way of thinking about space travel. I would what if the corona thing being at the wrong side of the comet is just how it looks from our senses and looking at it? What if that's just how it looks as their propulsion? What if it's doing something to space-time in front of it to help it travel forward?
What if, because it's not going the speed of light?
It did when it stopped and reappeared by Jupiter.
Okay, what if the thing that you're seeing in front of it is a defense mechanism? Let's say it is a spaceship, and these huge ships, they just get programmed to go out. Naturally there's going to be bits of rock.
Yeah,
whatever's in front of it is essentially a fucking yes.
Mm-hmm. Intergalactic snowplow, yeah. I have a feeling that this is gonna Jupiter is the furthest out planet, isn't it? No,
Pluto. Well, Pluto's not really a planet,
it's not really a planet now.
It's fucking round.
So it's in our solar system now. As the lady said in the thing, it wasn't actually supposed to enter our solar system until 2026, next year. If it's not just a comet and it does exactly what it's supposed to do and it just ends up going like a Me Amour again, like off you go, bye-bye. My prediction is that it slows.
You said it was going to stop behind the sun.
Yeah, this is the prediction. That it stops behind the sun, and that's when we start having to talk about. And because at first, if it goes behind the sun and doesn't reappear, the first thing that's going to come out is, it hit the sun. It went into the back of the sun. That'll be the excuse.
We think it hit the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's not be fucking. Let's not beat around the bush here. The sun is a long fucking way away. So when we talk about 2027, this could absolutely get somewhere quick and then crawl towards Earth, and it be 27 when it turns up. It's only a year away. Do you know what I mean? Like we're like fucking like three wanks and a cup of coffee, and it's 2026.
That sounds like my morning. That
yeah. The like this year is nearly done. So you're only you took what 15 months? 15 months till 2027. It's still just in the
timeline,
galaxy,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the thing, Lee. Right? Let's say, how long we got? We got a month. We got pretty much a month left.
Until when?
No. Sorry. How long we got until this thing is where it's supposed to be? Is it 20-something of October?
No. Like it's like later on in November, I think. It's got to get to Mars. It's
okay,
like,
but we ain't got.
It's long. A long way away.
No, but we haven't got long.
What do you mean?
We haven't got long till we know what it is. Can you see a day where you're doing a podcast, sat here with me saying, "So guys, we've been told it's aliens." Can you see that?
You see, the sensible reaction to that question is no. But we've been doing this in various guises now, together, for a long time. And what I've said for years of us working together, that this, whatever's going on, feels like it has a conclusion. It feels like we're building up.
Feels like it's got an ending.
Yeah. And I just don't, we won't know. That's the thing. Because this is the crazy thing that's going to happen, right? So let's say it approaches to the back of the sun. We won't be able to, because we won't know. It doesn't matter how long or what time it gets there. The whole reason, like Avi Loeb was talking about it coming in behind the sun, is that if it was an attack vessel, it's concealed because of the way it's coming in around the back of the sun. So we won't be able to see it until it passes the sun. Yeah?
Mm.
And even then, I'm going to guess that it's going to be tricky to get anything like concrete of it when it passes the sun, just because you're trying to capture a photo. You're trying to capture an image of something. We'll probably be still looking at like infrared and stuff like that. You'll be looking at like spectrum type photography or whatever it is. I'm probably using the wrong words here. I think there's a good chunk of time we could go with people going, it's just a comet. It's just a comet. But until realistically, until it becomes close enough that where amateur astronomers can start seeing it with telescopes. I think we're a while away from that.
But do you think, let's say this thing does reveal itself as being, and you're right, it stops behind the sun, and they say it's not hit, it's whatever it is, it stopped. Do you think people like Corbell are going to start coming out and going, this is the lie? Or do you think they'll change the tune?
I don't know.
Because disclosure is something that these people pipe on about over and over again. It's how some of these make a living.
It just seems, the whole thing seems so chaotic. Right. There is a reason, right? For the uninitiated here, which are just more into conspiracies and not really into like UFOs and stuff like that. Like long story truncated is that there was once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away where all the UFO channels and all the UFO like podcasters and stuff like that were kind of friendly with each other. for the most part, people would speak to each other. People would go on different people's shows. People weren't fucking trying to get views by barbecuing everybody. And then along came a guy called Lou Elizondo, who started going on other shows, and he got friendly with a guy called Lou Angeles that used to have a show called Lou Reviews, and together, through fuckery, everyone hates each other now. That's why there's like a small pocket out there of like people like Josh, Polarity Josh, and Vetted. I'll put Jay Anderson in that group as well because he keeps himself to himself. He's like these guys are kind of like little islands, and then you have the Chupacabras and the Red Panda koala guys out there that do like doing the tweets and stuff. And I believe, I'm sure some other people disagree with me, that they very much tried to keep themselves away from all that drama. And most of the drama happens in Twitter Spaces. That's why you have never seen us in a Twitter space, because I don't think any good comes of it. I think it's a circle jerk, and I think it's just there to make people fall out with each other and argue more. But the thing with Lou Elizondo getting involved in the UFO community and tearing it apart is he is a counterintelligence officer. That was his job. His job was counterintelligence. He once said that like, what do you want to do from what do you want to do for ufology? I think his response was something like, I want to tear it apart.
Yeah, it was so. It weren't those exact words, but it was something along them lines.
Yeah, right. There was a reason for that.
Maybe that reason is right now.
There was a reason that when all of the UFO guys were kind of getting on with each other, like I say, we dip it. I found Ollie went on there with like back then we used to have loads of people coming in and out of Alien Addict and stuff like that. You know, it was great doing those live streams. I don't understand what the bonus was of causing this disruption. And let's be honest, right? I think it's so close to being reality that it's difficult to say that the current state of, I don't want to say ufology because it's not like, I don't believe in ufology as a thing. I think what you've got is a load of commentators that try and make themselves sound special by calling them ufologists, but essentially all we are is content creators that comment on stuff. You know, it's the Tim Pool doesn't refer to himself as a fucking political analyst. Do you know what I mean? But there was a reason why a counterintelligence officer was sent into the heart of YouTube, where all these channels were. Obviously, there was drama. There's always YouTube drama. But for the most part, there was drama between people, but the mission was the same. There'd be a UFO video come out. Everybody be talking about the UFO video. But then it was the introduction of Lou Elizondo that splintered it between, like, it started this tribalistic nature of you either have to believe everything or you become a debunker and you believe nothing.
Yeah. I found the message, by the way, that Lou said.
Oh, he hit it, yeah.
Hashtag 33 Lou Elizondo.
Of course he is.
Left the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy, not a ufologist. I never have been, I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
That's a wild thing to say. I was asked to employ these same skill sets into the UFO community. You were working. It was your job.
And where is he now, Lee? Where is he now?
One book deep, and
he did the job, and now it's all fucking literally. We're on the verge of something.
Did the job, released the book, peaced out.
What would right? If the UFO, I'm gonna say, if the UFO community wasn't so stagnated, yeah. What would we be doing now? What would they be doing?
We'd be talking about these drone incursions. We'd be talking about 3i Atlas. We'd have already been talking about the drone incursions there. And the thing is, without all the infighting, it wouldn't. I'm not saying we'd have like a fucking WhatsApp group, which realistically we probably should have had. I'm not saying we would have had a WhatsApp group. What I am saying is that there so right, how many people did we used to get in a live? Like we'd usually get maybe like 600 to 800 on like an average live, 1,000 on a really good live. Yeah, that's sort of realistic numbers. I can't really remember. So
sometimes we had some really odd ones where we'd get an obscene amount of people watching live, and we didn't know where that came from.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
So we got, like, for live streams, we got pretty good live numbers. But especially now, now people have got the appetite for it. So the numbers would have been even more now. But the numbers for, like, if Lou Angeles hadn't have lost his fucking mind, he'd have been getting like a few thousand.
Which was, I think, now by design.
Yeah,
for him to lose his fucking marbles.
Oh, he was absolutely played. Do you know what? As much as I dislike the guy, and he's like, I genuinely dislike him because I think he's a fucking horrible person. I still feel sorry for him. I still feel sorry.
He was well and truly done over.
Yeah, well and truly done over, and he was co-opted by a counterintelligence agent to destroy something that he'd built single-handedly. That's fucking horrid.
Lee, he had a fucking incredible UFO talk show.
Yeah, it was great.
The Unidentified Celebrity Review, that's what it was called, before he went to Lou Reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And, oof.
Well, the weird thing about that was, I remember the first time he came on with you, and you and Artemis and Josh and a few other people. Sorry, I know our listeners don't know who these people are. So apologize.
Some might.
You guys gave him quite a hard time, and I think when I watched that back, I thought, kind of bullying this guy here, and I remember thinking to myself, like, he handled that well. I thought he handled that with great. He wouldn't now. He'd have turned into fucking spit and vomit and looked like Jabba the Hutt having a wank. But then when I was on the show, when I was on the show with him after that, I thought, this guy's a nice guy. Like, I don't understand why the fucking what the fucking hassle was with him. And that changed just overnight. But you see, this is the reason I think it was for. If something's going on, if there is an uptick on it, you would have had a load of independent channels, some talking to each other. There would have been some cross-pollination. There always is with this sort of stuff. But most people would have been on the same page, would have been on the same fucking hymn sheet.
Do you know, and this is obviously for the audience as well here, but like this guy that Lee's talking about here, Lou Angeles, yeah?
I say Angeles, yeah.
The Unidentified Celebrity View went to Lou Reviews.
That channel's now gone. Now
has it gone?
It's set up as some UFO debunking site now, but it's never had anything uploaded.
Right. Do you know how Lou met him, Lou Elizondo.
He was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when he met Lou.
Yes. Oh my God, fucking hell. Can you imagine if AI was a thing when all that was going on?
Oh my
and fucking Chupacabra and Red Panda got the hands on that.
Yeah.
With that song. Oh, it would be bloody brilliant. But anyway, yeah. So that guy just so happens to meet somebody who's got a UFO channel.
Sorry, you're not explaining this well to people here.
Oh, okay.
Right. So Lou is a failed actor that had a few B parts in things, and like most actors in like living around the sort of Hollywood area, he works in a restaurant waiting tables, and he was waiting in his restaurant when Lou Elizondo came in, and he ended up waiting on the table for him. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So of all the places, and now bearing in mind that Lou Elizondo is a counterintelligence officer that was going to infiltrate the fucking UFO community, as he has just said in his own words, he was sent in to use that skill set on ufology, and he just happens to go for a meal in a restaurant where the guy with the fastest growing, and like,
I don't know if it was the fastest growing then, but it was a channel.
No, I think it was still like big though. It wasn't big, but he was doing something no one else was doing. I think that was the best way to put it. Like the
big phone home and all that.
Yeah. I would say it was the fastest growing one. In fact, yeah, of course it was, because it was in the time where it was growing fast. Do you know what I mean? It was in that time. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that he just decided to eat in that restaurant.
No.
At that particular time. It's not an accident. And yeah, I do.
And now
I
we're here.
wonder. But I do. I would. And this is the thing. Like the people that we used to speak to on a regular basis. Some of them gone. Some of them don't do it anymore. Some of them are crazy. Like some of them are like barely fucking hanging in there, like on, like with scraps of sanity.
We've seen people fucking turn to mush over time.
Yeah.
By design, mate.
So, but yeah, that's kind of what I think it's for. I think it's the whole face of it, like the like UFO people changed on YouTube after that. I think a lot at the same time that happened, I think the reaction channels got inflated. So they're like, and it's like good for them. This is not a slight towards these people at all. But you've got like the Casper site guy, and who does fucking mad numbers on his like reaction videos to UFOs and stuff. But it's kind of like, it's vanilla stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like a picture of a light, a guy in a cool room, which like looks like it's like a game streaming room, kind of overreacting to fairly dull stuff. But like his channel's being pushed out there because there's everyone in this industry is controlled by algorithms. And I'm sure there's people say, "Oh, you can, he's gamed the algorithm. He can do that." Not really. I don't believe that's a thing. I think you can like hook onto things and like pick the right subjects for what people are searching. But ultimately, like channels that get really big, I think are pushed forward.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think we've seen that. I'm not going to name names, but we've seen and we spoke about certain people who have been pushed in certain directions. They probably don't even know it, or maybe they do know it.
I think they probably know there is some reason. Like they'll put a video out and they go, "Why has that got 200,000 views?" And my last one had like 80. Maybe I should speak more about that. But I mean, we've seen it on the podcast. Like, we got mad views on P. Diddy shows for a while. You know, we could just like knock a P. Diddy show out, and it was never really in our nature to like put a show out if there wasn't actually something to talk about. But like we've obviously spoken about it behind the scenes and gone like, oh fucking hell, like it seems that if we just do a P. Diddy show and put P. Diddy in the title, then the numbers double. That's weird.
They wouldn't let me make that fucking T-shirt though.
Wouldn't let me make the T-shirt. Again, though, P. Diddy thing, there's a thing that fucking disappeared.
Yeah, where the fuck's Diddy now?
Who fucking knows? But yeah, this will not be the last time we talk about 3i Atlas, so I hope.
Nor the drones.
Nor the drones.
Because they'll be back.
If they stop now.
They might stop for a little bit, you know. They might have a little break. They'll be back for Christmas.
Now,
trust me.
The question is, Ollie, in the same way we haven't spoke really about the Ukrainian war for a long time.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. But I don't think things stop. I think they just stop being reported on. They stop being spoken about. So that's what I mean, like whether the drones stop or not. Maybe the drones just carry on, but they just tell us about it now and again. To think about the Peru stories as well. This is one of the things that's wild about
face peelers.
Starting to blame everything on Russia. There's been so much. The fucking Miami Mall incident, the fucking Las Vegas thing in the back garden, which was clearly there was something there. Like through video analysis now of the actual raw footage, there was something there.
The
Don't know what it
fucking
was.
copper's body cam that caught the fucking big flashing blue thing in the sky.
Yeah. Goddamn Ruskies.
Well, we're not far off people, but like Lee says, we're gonna keep covering it.
Yeah. I'm just fucking hell. This is a 2-hour show, that Ollie. Wow. Thank you for sticking with us. If you stuck with us the whole thing, remember our Patreon is now only $2.99. If you want to get rid of the adverts, it's there for you. If you are watching this on YouTube, this is the second to last video that we will put up on YouTube. Everything else will be up on Rumble after that. If you're watching on Rumble, hi, we're here now. I think that's about it.
Share us
and leave a comment. That's the other thing to say. Like, I keep leaving comments, even if you think about something later on that's nothing to do with the episode. Like you're just doing something. Drop a comment on the Spotify, in the comments on Spotify on the latest episode. It can be about anything. Like, and you can do it as a thread now. So if you've already left a comment, don't think, oh fuck, I can't leave another comment. Just comment under it or comment on someone else's post. Just fucking get a comment to us.
Also help us get some 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
2,000 on Spotify. Ooh.
Yeah, we're looking for 2,000. We're at 1,500 reviews at the minute. So yeah, that would be super good. We have Danny on the show with us tomorrow. She's going to give us an update on the ghost that appears to be haunting her child. And she also wants to talk to us about the idea of the digital ID in the UK, because she sent me a message today saying that I've just seen something, and what the fuck is the bullshit going on in your country? And so yeah, she wants us to have a little chat about that. But yeah, I'm sure we want to bed in early for the one with Danny because it's going to be quite a long show, and I'm sure we'll cover like all
A
of the
lot of
stuff.
ground.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys. Do us a favor and share the episode if you are listening to this, because we forgot to plug our own shit first thing because we're fucking useless. Ollie,
Yes,
take us
mate.
out, Captain.
Well, no, I really do need to plug a shit. So, well, unplug it. You know, it's plugged. It's. I think it's.
Plugged.
I think I'm constipated.
You're plugged.
Yeah.